I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Mikey Money here on the Sports Money Network, bringing you Pregaming Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. This is the place we put it all together. We've been staring at the board all day. We've got lines, cash flow splits, trends, angles, player props, line movement, you name it. We look at it all. Try to come up with an informed betting strategy. That's the plan. That's the way we're going to attack. I'm excited for a little revamp. I told you guys I was working on some new tools and technology to help us find more winning tickets. I have been battle testing them. They have been cashing at about a 75% rate. So I felt there was no reason not to bring them to play today. And so you will see a little bit of a format adjustment. Lots more to get to for this show. But look, it is the best damn betting show on the planet. And not just because its name says so. So, as ridiculous as that sounds, we are here to attack and make you guys cash. Real money in the bank. And we're going to start with college basketball because there is early college basketball. March Madness is upon us. We will then move to the NHL. I will introduce some player props. I've got two props to blow the bookie stops tonight. And boy, I told you, been hitting at about a 75% rate, including I had a triple-double last night for like plus 650 on Josh Giddey. So I will gladly share these with you guys as we continue to filter through. If you like player props, maybe you want to add them to a same-game parlay, whatever the case may be. You don't want to miss out on those props. We'll finish up with the NBA, and I will close up the show with the Sharp Respected Betting Report. Seems to me that it comes in around the 5:30 window. So it just felt like the best time to put that out there is at the close of the show. We'll recap what they did the previous day and see if we can't make it pay for us here, ready to go. So we will cover Campbell and Mammoth. Campbell and Monmouth in collegiate basketball to kick things off. That's a 6 p.m. start. We've got North Colorado and Montana. We'll bring it home with Weber on Eastern Washington. We'll move over to the NHL. The Flames and the Capitals, a much anticipated battle there. And the Mammoth and the Hawks. The Black Hawks will be in action tonight. And we'll finish her up in the NHL with the Senators and Canucks. I'll hit those player props. I've got two, as I told you guys. Then we'll move to the NBA. I've got the Nuggets and the OKC Thunder in a 20-0 trend. You're not going to want to miss out for there. The Grizz and the Nets. Before we wrap her up with the Knicks and the Clippers, and as I mentioned, covering the Sharp Respected Betting Report. You guys excited for the card? I need to bounce back after a lackluster day yesterday. UFC wise on Saturday night, things went pretty well. Happy with my last 4 fights. 4 of my last 5 cashed, including big plus money spots out there, plus 278, plus 185, plus 205. And then, of course, the Calgary Flames got us paid at a plus 175. They said, no way. I said, what do you say? And that 7-0 trend has now moved to 8-0 for the Calgary Flames. So, good stuff all around, you guys. I appreciate you being here, tuning in. If you're catching us on the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, because just because the live show is potentially over doesn't mean we don't need your support, doesn't mean we don't need your help. And we will continue to try to find winners. So a lot more prepping to do, but I'm happy to do it with you guys here. I think, look, especially as we transition from basketball into the baseball season, we're going to need more angles to fire on besides just sides and totals in baseball. I mean, that's what's made us so successful in years past with baseball. So we might as well keep it going. What do you guys say about that? I'm looking forward to it. Matter of fact, let's get right to work. You guys can do me that solid if you haven't done so already and smash that thumbs up button. It only takes you a second. It helps us out an absolute ton. We love the comments post-show as well. Some of you guys have been leaving some really insightful comments, breaking down spots that you like, why you like them, how you're arriving there, and all the rest. So keep those coming. Comments, like buttons, feedback are all the things that we want to do to continue to make this the best damn betting show on the planet. So smash that thumbs up button if you haven't, and then let's get to work. Spring. It's not just in the air. I guess spring is sprung at this point, man. 73 degrees here today. Got me up. And first of all, the hour time zone change, or the hour daylight savings time, popped me out of bed earlier than ever. Got me up and moving, doing all kinds of things inside, outside, around the side. Spring's here, man. I'm ready. I'm fired up. And March Madness officially popping the top now. They said a lot of unders cashed last week. I must have been on all the exclusive unders that did not cash, because I did not feel like I saw a bunch of unders in college basketball. But I'll tell you this, I've already said it. I mean, our top four looks really good right now. Florida, Arizona, Michigan, and an at-large. Arizona, I guess, right? Arizona, Florida, Michigan, and then we decided was it going to be Houston, UConn. Doesn't matter. They're all looking pretty good right now. I do believe, though, that much to reinforce what I talked about here, as we see these upsets, it's just going to mean beatdowns in the first round of the March Madness tournaments. You can't have underdogs, overdog. Expect to see things popping. The NFL is popping. I wanted to touch on a couple quick moves out there, because it just kind of seems like, hey, how can we not? I know it's a little early, but it's still happening, and it's still things that we have to consider out there. So, I did see it looks like Tua going to go sign with the Atlanta Falcons. This one person is a smoke show. Anyhow, Tua signs on board with should sign on board with the Atlanta Falcons. Kenneth Walker was probably the news of the morning, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Does that mean he gets more or less playing time? Travis Etienne will sign with the Saints. I know it's just a couple, but they were kind of some of the big ones that, I didn't want to say the big ones, but, just kind of some of the ones that popped off the board to me early on in the day. I don't know. I just think there's this little smoke show running around Twitter, popping breaking news on these reports that are just alleged. I mean, I'm a one source guy. I think this gal may be a zero source person, but I just see she popped up in the timeline. Easy on the eyeballs. So let's get to work, you guys. Mr. Weskers is here. He says, I stay fading the Clippers. We'll talk about the Clippers and the Knicks game here, because I had it wrong yesterday. I was on the Knicks. I don't think I had much go right yesterday. Some player props went right. The new tools went right. But now my read on the fucking Knicks, man, oh man, especially with LeBron out, the Lakers are better. We all know that. Damn it. 9 Legacy says the paid in full parlay of the day: St. Mary's, Eastern Washington, Northern Kentucky, UT Rio Grande Valley, all on the spread. Best bet Clippers money line, Brooklyn Nets money lines for our guy 9 Legacy, and Big Crypto believes Duke and Arizona will be in the Natty. Duke was the other team. How could I forget Duke? Florida, Duke, Arizona, and Michigan. Those were our final fours. We've been calling that for a couple of weeks now. Peter Grassi says, up Mikey, nice call. And Alcorn, man, we got the hook. We came out with the hook here. I wanted to come out, give a winner. I had obviously, as I mentioned, a struggle bus day yesterday. So wanted to share with everybody a free play that kind of was back and forth. You know what was most disappointing is I wanted to get Alcorn in the first half, and I was like, do you take Alcorn? And how can you do? And then I looked at the numbers, 7 of like 8 times. I should be factual with it. It was a lot. It was a lot of times that Alcorn was beating these guys up. So, and then they ended up winning the game outright. So I'm going to use some of those tools as we talk about the card tonight. Peter, you are welcome, my friend. Glad you cashed. Now, I did give out today for the Win Club a afternoon play as well. See, I try to project. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be accurate, but I try to read the tea leaves, and I tried to explain this on Saturday. We're going to take some lumps, but we're also going to have some original takes. And I don't mean hot takes. We're not talking Stephen A. Smith hot takes here. We're talking about things like the LA Kings and sharing with you guys how to use all the externalities, right? All the stuff that's happening out there in the world and bringing it to the table so that we can eat. And what we're trying to do there is look at this LA Kings. I broke it down with you guys. I shared it. I said, listen, they made a huge acquisition before the Olympic break. They bring in Panarin, Anteri Panarin, probably one of the more beneficial free. And look what he's doing. He's just producing and producing and producing. They come back from the break. They're lackluster. They start out slow. To create some urgency, they not only fire their coach, they bring in from the outside another coach. That's like never heard of, right? They always, if they're going to promote and they're going to punt, they kind of bring somebody up from within, test them out a little bit. So there was something going on there, something kind of big. And then they continue to make acquisitions, even though they lost, Fiala, was it, right? During the Olympic break out there. Tough break for them. But that to me said, you know what? The Kings are going to be play on and just kind of trying again, read the tea leaves. I'm not going to come back and tell you they lost 4-3 to the Canadians the other day. I'm going to tell you that I think they're a bye team, much like I think the Maple Leafs are a bye team. And I know the Maple Leafs are probably a little bit more ways to go in the process, but that's our responsibility as sports handicappers is to try to give you guys some things to look at. Now, look, I could eat some shit for this Toronto spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight L's. But you will get original, insightful information. I will never tell you guys what happened yesterday as a reflection of how we bet tomorrow, if that makes sense. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are as well. Make sure, again, if you're just getting in here, you smash that thumbs up button. Let me throw the scroll across the bottom of the panel here. And let's see if some of these new tools can get us paid today. And again, if you're looking to get involved live, I do have the Los Angeles Kings. I gave that one out earlier today. For all the aforementioned reasons, you probably should have known. Not going to not go there. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs is a little baffling. With Berube as their coach. That one's a little hard to figure out. In fact, I can't really figure it out, so I'm not going to try. But I also gave you guys the Flames the other day when everyone said the Flames suck. They're sellers at the deadline. Oh, well, here comes a tool giving us a unique trend that is a 7-0 going back 13 years, and it cashed for us. So that big plus money score, and I don't believe anybody was talking about that in the Twitter sphere. So try to be unique, try to be original, but want to give you guys actionable information. Am I forgetting anything? Shout out to Drew Skillosa. Peter Grassi says a bad beat for the bookie. Hell yeah, man. Hey, listen, we'll take hooks. I'm piloting a Canada Dry ginger ale today. That's very tasty. Jerry Davis is also in on Denver and Joker PRA. No Hartenstein. Little bad blood in their last meeting, says Jerry Davis. What up, Jerry? It's good to see you. I'm going to get involved with this Campbell and Monmouth game. And I'm going to tell you guys, this one to me has, if you recall what we talked about, C-Mac and I, Miggity Mac Daddy and I on the Betting the Board show on Saturdays. Again, trying to kind of be insightful, trying to kind of connect the dots, right? So many people will lay it out there and then say, okay, now you go figure it out. No. We want to connect the dots and help you guys with them informed betting decisions out there. And what we talked about were the Campbell Camels and their unique defense. Not that it's unique. That's probably not the best term, but that they are a defensive-oriented team, and they have been showing us that as they continue through this tournament. Now, this line opened at 1.5. It hasn't moved. So 62% of the bets, 59% of the cash are on the Monmouth side of things here. I get it. 18-14. I like this Monmouth team. They were a little cheeky as the season wore on, I guess. They ripped off 4 straight wins, including a beating yesterday on Drexel. They beat Drexel by 8 points as a 4.5-point favorite. In fact, 4 straight covers. They're winning, they're covering. And then you look at this Campbell Camel side of things here, and probably the big surprise, they're scoring. Their offensive prowess right now. Now, will a Campbell team come in here and upset the apple cart? Coming in here as a sub 500 team? Well, I'm not going to get involved on the side. I'm going to go to the total. And I am going to go with this under. Now, I think at some point with this tournament, you have to look at some of these teams and decide, well, whether or not you want full games or first halves. I did take a first half. I got a couple first halves today that I jumped in on. But the thought process for me was just simply, maybe these teams can start out fresh. Now, some folks are a little bit baffled that the teams that are set up for some of these shit tournaments that have to play like 6 games in 6 days continue to find a way to win. But I'm not. You know, if you turn the noise down, we talk about the players being young and getting tired, and in the thralls of the season, I could see a guy goes 3 games in 4 nights and he's getting a little gassy, right? Gets a little tired. But when you go to spring recess or break or whatever it is right now, right? You get spring recess and all you have to do is ball. I can imagine you're getting in the zone. All your distractions go away. It's time to show up for this tournament. You've been playing all year to get here. And I think that's what we're seeing from these teams that continue to find a way. You know, they've played 4 games in 4 nights, 5 games in 5 nights to win. So I'll flip gears there, but I do like the unders. Small favorites scoring less than the league average do not dictate the pace. 87% of the bets, 83% of the cash have come in on this over. And yet it's sitting at 152. It's been a firm 152 all day. So what do you want to do? You want to get cute? You want to try to get involved in this thing here? I mean, look, we're seeing that these teams played the last time they played, January 24th, 88-73. It was 161, but it was 133 the time before that. So, like, could it go either way? I mean, to some support, I could say sure, but I would lean to Campbell and I would lean to the under. Well, I'm playing the under in this game. I mean, the implied probability, here's what I think makes a good bet. At minus 110, and I know it's actually a little bit less than that right now. It's plus 105. The implied probability opened up at 55% at minus 125 for Monmouth to win this game. Now, it's not great, but if you can slap 1.5 on there in a coin flippy type of game where the line's not moving out there, the implied probability at a plus 105, sitting around 48%. It's a coin flip game. The line tells you it's a coin flip game. The value sits there with a Monmouth team with a Campbell team that, you know, look, they played in Monmouth New Year's Eve. They won outright, 68-65. I think that their scoring is on tack. I think that their defense is going to have to step up here. I'm just a little concerned about the long haul of the game. I do like Campbell. I will take the under. That'll be the way that I want to open up my playing card. Let's go. Jerry Davis likes the Monmouth and the under. All right. Just think it's manipulative BS to have teams needing to win 5, 6, 7 in 5, 6 days to get an auto bid. I'm okay with that. If you sucked all season, you shouldn't just get 2 wins and you're in. You know what I mean? You should have some benefit of playing in a... I'm okay with it. I see it the opposite. I respect the opinion. I know some people that feel the same way. But I'm okay with it. If you can run the gauntlet and you can persevere, then you deserve a shot. And you shouldn't get the same treatment as everybody. 1 versus 4 isn't good enough when you got some of these 12, 14, 16 team conferences out there busting them up. Shout out to Loose Lips. Hey, Loose Lips, man. 3 of 4 to close out that UFC card, my dude. Plus a big 170. 4 big bombs to close that card out, man. You don't got to be awake to cash it. But you do got to be subscribed to Winnable to get it, my man. So if you haven't done so already, you guys, I'll give a quick cheeky little shout out to the Win Club. And if you guys want to support me, you want to get more of my best bets, look at, I'm sharing all kinds of information with you guys here on the show. I will whittle it down to what I think are the best few and maybe some unique places as well over on the Win Club. We are in at Northern Colorado and Montana. And I think that we've got ourselves a little first half battle in this game here. I told you, I'm going to change it up just a little bit as we start getting into some of these tournament plays out there. And so this game definitely kicks off a little bit later in the day, 7:30 p.m. It opened at plus 3.5. It hasn't moved. Another one that's got zero movement. And the Northern Colorado side, 61% of the bets, 57% of the cash on Northern Colorado. Total's not moving either. 89% of the bets, 88% of the cash coming in there. Look, Northern Colorado, big favorite. Oh, relatively speaking, big favorite. But do they deserve it? Well, it's interesting. These boys just played. Not only do they, this is a strange line to me. They just played, and Northern Colorado thumped them by 30 points at Northern Colorado. Now, that was a week ago, last Monday to close out the season. I don't know what's changed all of a sudden that, why? Because Montana beat Portland State. We talked about Portland State fading down the stretch, right? Big Portland State squad, 19-8 against the season. They lost to that Northern Colorado team. They did beat Idaho. Then they lost to Eastern Washington. They lost to Montana State. They lost to Montana. Like, they kind of fell off the road a little bit there. They were one of the better cover teams in college. And then the end of the season hit them. So I'm going to discount that. I like a 4-1 in the last 5 here with this Northern Colorado team, but I want to drill it in. I don't want to let the full game happen. Revenge spot cheekery. No NBA yet, Drew. If you look on the screen, you'll see on the side down there is the order of which we're going in for the squad here today. We're going to start with college basketball because there was a 6 p.m. game. Then we're going to hit the NHL. Then I'm going to share some new tools with you guys. Then I'm going to share the NBA, and I'll finish it off with a sharp, respected betting report, you guys. Shout out to Textiles in the house. What up, my dude? This is our time, brother. This is our time to shine. Basketball season is here. Jerry Davis says, Northern Colorado for me, Montana has been bad away from the house. Northern Colorado has been hot home or away. And that's how I'm going to attack it. I'm going to go to the first half in this game. Give me Northern Colorado to come out here and put the boot to ass right off the hop. 7 of the last 9 first halves have been straight covers for this Northern Colorado team. And look, the Montana State side, they've lost 5 of their last 7 first halves. So they're kind of playing around with their food and hoping to be able to skate away with not skate away like a hockey situation here, but sneak away a W. For 2 teams that are pegged right at the middle, and these 2 teams just played, I just wanted the first half because I was a little concerned that, yeah, they did just play. Yeah, it was a little bit of a thump. And, I don't want to see him just roll over and shit the bed. I was hoping for 2 more players to score here. I had a Connor Garland and Panarin point today. They both scored in that Kings game, but I would get in the Kings. Big Crypto says my favorite play today in college is Santa Clara with the points over St. Mary's. My reasoning is because the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara and the Seahawks won their 3rd Super Bowl. Santa Clara is the number 3 seed. Big Crypto, that sounds like some gematria. I could see the first half. Again, I just get concerned. Although I was going to say, look at this earlier game, but Alcorn won the first half and the full game. So what are you going to do? I'm going to move on to try to get the stamps in. As we talk about Weber State in Eastern Washington. Look, I wish that I was more creative in this game. I mean, I'm happy to say that I'm going to jump in on the Eastern Washington side. When I say I wish I was a little more creative, it's just because they've been so damn hot. I mean, they've beat everybody up head to head. They've won 6 of the last 10 between these two squads out there. And most recently, I mean, they thump them. When they win, they thump them. 84-66 on the recent out there. One of the better players in the conference sits on this squad as well, and Isaiah Moses. So I'm not going to dismiss what these boys have done. They're first half winners in 6 of their last 8 games. And they're averaging, both teams are sitting right around 155 points. Head to head, Eastern Washington averaging 78 points to 76 the last times these teams have played, 10 times in a row. So you do want to kind of look at this thing again in a coin flippy spot and say Eastern Washington has shown us that they should be the team to go out there and win. They just beat them 84-66 on Valentine's Day. The old Valentine's spot out there. It was a bounce back revenge situation at Weber. They lost 91-80, but this is probably more of I don't want to even call it a system play. This is just more of I think the better team sits in Eastern Washington, and I can dismiss the Idaho loss, right? We always kind of talk about if you can rationalize or whatever the case may be, then you can kind of move past it. They beat up everybody in their way, closing out the season. You see it based on the fact that their record sits at 13-18, and Weber comes in at 16-15. But who's got the better conference record? So arguably, Eastern Washington spent the early part of the season getting themselves in tune-up position. And why were they tuning up? Because it's boot to ass time. 18-12 ATS. This team won what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 9 straight wins? They haven't lost since January to that Northern Colorado team that I mentioned on the road. So with all due respect, this is still a time. Stay on the bus. If you haven't gotten on the bus, consider popping in there with me right now. And we'll see if we can't get this cash. So I laid 2.5 with Eastern Washington. I'm just going to stay with the hot hand in this case. Keep this college basketball thing rolling for it. Jerry Davis says Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado, best 2 teams over the last. Exactly, Jerry. Irish King says Columbus live down 2 was pure money. 3-2. Columbus ain't winning this game, dude. So we'll see. We'll see, Irish King. Jerry Davis says at Mikey, Idaho was hitting every 3 in that game and just barely held on to beat Eastern Washington. I love Jerry Davis's insight there. He definitely watches a lot of games. Appreciate that. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's talk some NHL action here as we keep rolling, you guys. Appreciate everybody joining. We look at the Flames and the Capitals to kick this one off. All right, I've got a player prop for this game. I've got a player prop. We'll cover it in the player prop section. So just remember that. So I was thinking about it. Do I cover like the player prop during the game if I have it there? I'm just going to leave it to player props. That way, if when you go back to listen to the replay, you know exactly where to find the player prop in the player prop segment. So I just think that made a lot of sense to me. I think the Washington Capitals beat the snot out of the Calgary Flames. Now, we talked about the Flames in that spot the other day. Get them on the win. That was an 8-0 strategy out there. And it's shown us nothing but gold. They've got the edge in Washington with goaltending. Logan Thompson gets the start. Logan Thompson comes in here with a 2.41 goals against average. Now, Cooley, he's been pretty Cooley out there. 2.27 goals against average. But the problem is there's a couple things going on. We'll talk about these other teams in a second, but the Flames just don't score goals. Even though they won the other night, we still kind of saw it. They're the lowest scoring team in hockey. 2.5 goals per game played. Cooley, like I said, solid. He's just not getting any help. He lost 4-1, but he had a 94.3% save percentage. So, I mean, that's a quality start. Problem is you got the Capitals on a 3-game losing streak. Oh, there's the 3-2. I see what you're saying now. Connor Garland again. Now's the time to jump in on them Kings, man. Them famous Kings. I will say this, though. Caesars was dramatically mispriced on the line against DraftKings today, of all days. When you put the Capitals on a 6, they've been dominant. Let me see. I might have to. Let's see what this plus money spot looks like here with the Los Angeles Kings. If it's more than plus 165, 175, I would say is the number that we're looking for. Can we get over plus 175? What do we got? What do we get here? Oh, they fucking tied it up already. Sons of bitches. Damn. That's how quick it moves sometimes. You got to take advantage. Damn. Redbeard says, smart fella, Jerry is. He sure is, man. We're lucky to have all you guys here capping with us. Irish King, Loose Lips, Redbeard. All you guys that tune in after the fact. Big Crypto, The Solution, Textiles, Skalosa, man. We're all trying to win money. We're all trying to do it the same way, right? Jerry Davis likes the Caps under 6. 4-3 now? Shit. And there's my Kempe goal. Oh, man. Oh, man. The last one I need right now. Who is it? Does anybody know who the last one I need is? I need a point from Werenski. 1 point from Werenski for a monster here. The new tools, boys and girls, the new tools are ready to roll. MMA Jeff was on that over as well. Jerry Davis, he told me the over was the play. I said, hey, Kings ain't no bitches. And they aren't. But we'll see what happens here. A lot of game left in that thing. Holy cow. Huge second. Have you guys noticed that some of these second periods lately? I mean, I didn't even mention the Sabres and Tampa game yesterday. What they have? 7 goals in the second period, 7 goals in the third period. That was a fucking amazing hockey. Oh, they took the goal back. 3-3. Shit. All right. Did they take it back? Doesn't take much to get me distracted. You guys know the deal. Look, let's get back on track. I'm going to take this Washington Capitals minus 1.5. I'm on the puck line here. I want to fade the Flames. Yes, the lower scoring team in hockey. And I think the better goaltending edge. Plus the Flames just came off that win. So there's a couple of spots like this where it really doesn't take a lot to get me going on the hot team. And kind of the same thing in this game here. You know, situationally speaking, we look at the Calgary Flames, Chicago Blackhawks and the Utah Mammoth come into this one here. With the Mammoth, they're going to Vitek Vanacek. I don't know. But I know Drew Comiso is an AHL goaltender with a sub 90% save percentage for the Rockford IceHogs. That ain't good. They're also in a revenge situation. In fact, they're in a double revenge situation. They just got shut out on March 1st to the Chicago Blackhawks team. So we look at Vanacek, and they've been playing him gingerly. Let us gingerly touch swords. You guys know what that's from? And he's 3-0-1 in his starts, though. He had a 3-0 win over the Flyers the other night. It's funny how these teams get shut out, the other shuts out, shut out. But you got to respect this Mammoth team against this Blackhawks squad. You know, actually, I say they came in off a win the other day here, but they came out early against that Dallas Stars team. And now, Connor Bedard's fantastic. I think the makeup of this team with Uyghur coming over on the Utah side of things here, it does change things up for him. So they're going to get the better goaltender. They're more wisely using their personnel from a goaltending performance perspective. They know they can go out there and get this team. It doesn't kill them if they don't, but man, you just look at Logan Cooley's a guy that probably has himself at night tonight. Speaking of being Cooley, Clayton Keller is the guy. I think Clayton Keller probably goes out there. If he doesn't get a hat trick, he probably puts in at least a 2-pack. Again, the transition and the acquisitions that these guys have made out there. Mackenzie Weegar, you can't dismiss. You got a goaltender that comes in here who's been playing pretty good at 3-0-1 his last 4 since the beginning of January. You're adding defensive consistency and continuity. You've got Mackenzie Weegar next to Sean Jersey, Olympian. Nate Schmidt gets out there. These guys have 2 strong lines. I'm not sold on Ian Cole and his partner out there on defense, but I do like what I see. Look, Schmaltz, Keller, and Hayton with Gunther on the point is a heck of a power play line as well. So I'm going to give the flowers to this Utah Mammoth squad. I'm going to take them in regulation. We're sitting around minus 130. NHL road favorites against winless, rested home teams. This is kind of the flip-flop. The rested home team. Normally we see sometimes, hey, this comes to, but the road favorite is a favorite for a reason. They've cashed 12 straight times in the NHL. The solution says 3-3. Loose lips. Loose lips. We're not in a competition, loose lips. I don't know if you figured that out or not. We're the best damn betting show on the planet. Nobody wins more than we do. It's not a competition, bro. Now you know the competition's over. Jerry Davis says, damn, Mikey, I got Coyle and you got Werenski. 3 goals and neither of us cashed. I know. Well, I got 3 of the other guys, though. Nicholas Handy in the house. Redbeard says, no longer tailing Jerry. Stop Geoengineering says, let's get this shit. Let's get this shit indeed. So I'm going to take the Mammoth in regulation as we roll on to the last game in the NHL. I'm going to go to the Senators and the Canucks. Look, Canucks equal bad. Senators equal good. That's where we start. And they're $2, and they're almost a $2.50 favorite for a reason. 19-44. You know the Canucks stink. You know they're coming in here in full-fledged tankathon. I mean, if you want to look at the side, yeah. What do I got to do? Tell you to lay the puck line for the Senators to go out there and beat the shit out of these guys? They should. Kevin Lankinen starts for the Vancouver Canucks. Well, he's got a 3.72 goals against average. He's had 6 straight losses. He's not very good. And not only is he at 3.72 goals against average, but zoom in a little bit to his recent form, 4.63 goals against average in recent form. He's horrible, and he's playing even worse, which is really amazing considering he's playing an Ottawa Senators team that's 4-0-2 in their last 6. So they have relied on Allmark since the All-Star break. So they're kind of making a unique little setup here with the 37-year-old in Reimer. But he does have a 2.89 goals against average. So you got to respect that as well. I'm not going to get involved with the side here on the show. I'm going to get involved with the total. I like the over. 6.5. Let's root for goals. I just talked about how bad the goaltending is for the Canucks with Lankinen in his recent form. Bad, almost 5 goals against average. Probably the worst in the league. They allow the 4th most shots per game. So it's not all goaltending. This team's just out of spirit. They're not stepping in front of pucks. They're not doing any of that. You know, they're allowed the most goals in the NHL by far on this Vancouver Canucks side of things. And then if you look at the Ottawa Senators, you know, 7th best record in the NHL for hitting the over this season. By the way, the Canucks, because of how bad they're playing, they got the 5th best record to the over. So I'm going to take the over 6.5 in this NHL spectrum. See if we can't get her done. Redbeard says Ottawa by 1 million. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Jerry Davis says Nazir, Bertuzzi, and Teravainen point parlay. I like it. I like the parlays coming out with the points now. Big Crypto says I like the Calgary Flames with the goals at +1.5. Loose lips. I prefer you to be a member, my friend. If you haven't done so already, you can go out there for $4.99 a month. Get yourself in the green and support the Sports Money Network. Not going to lower the bar, boys. We talk up as we look at player prop selections. I've got 2 for you guys. The aforementioned player I will bring out here today, right now for you guys. In the NHL, his player prop to score a goal. Now, you can play it a couple different ways. Creatively, constructively, if you didn't want to take Tommy Wilson to score at plus 210, you could take him to get a point and maybe just play it with the Capitals money line. Capitals should win the game. He should get something on the score sheet. And when I say should, it's not about a do situation. It's about the dynamics of the NHL. He's a top 6 forward. He plays on the second line. He's averaging most time on ice of anybody on the team by far at 20 and a half minutes a game. So he's playing a full period. Next closest guy to him, about 1866. Minus Chychrun on defense, of course. The defense is tough because there's 3 lines of D, there's 4 lines of O, right? So you got to kind of look at that. Point is the guy's getting the most minutes on the offense. And then you slap him out there on the first line power play. Now his recent form, 13 shots. He's got a goal and 2 assists. He's got no power play points tonight. That, if anything, is where I would say he's due. But his line is productive. You look at Dylan Strome, he's got 3 power play points in his last 10 games. Ryan Leonard's got a power play point in his last 10 games as well. And both defenders. Ovechkin plays on the defense out there to give him that fourth offensive guy. And Chychrun's got 2 power play points. So Tommy Wilson to snipe the net here in this game is a player prop. It's an official spot at plus 210. In the player prop section, the newly anointed player prop section here, one of the strongest looks on the card from the new player prop tools as well. I co-sign it. And then I'm going to give you guys one in the NBA as well, since we're talking NBA here next. It's only right we talk about this Denver Nuggets and OKC Thunder game. This one to me, we'll talk about this game more in a minute because I've got a big 20-0 trend for you guys here. This one just comes down to the moving parts, the musical chairs, the duck, duck, goose that these guys have played already. This will be the 3rd time they've played in the season. We saw a ton of points in one game. We didn't see so many points in the other game. Okay. We've seen the Thunder take down both these games. And we'll talk more about the makeup of the team. But because the players are back, specifically Aaron Gordon, I want Christian Braun. The pressure's now off of this guy because they've got Jokic, they've got Murray, they've got Gordon, they've got players galore that have to take the attention and focus. And this guy's performance, last time he played OKC, he had 23 points. His average in last year's playoff series against the Nuggets and Thunder series here, right? Last year's playoff average. He averaged 12.7 points a game. His number's 11.5. It opened this morning at 10.5 at plus 105. It steamed to 11.5. It's now sitting around minus 110. In fact, I can tell you, I got minus 102 on Christian Braun over 11.5 points tonight. That'll be in the second official player prop in the newly coined player prop segment, you guys. So I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. If you like player props, let's see what they do. Let's see how we do this evening. We'll stay accountable and accurate as we go into the game tomorrow. Big Crypto says, I like the Calgary Flames with the goals plus 1.5 because it's 4-date numerology and the Capitals are on a 3-game losing streak. I see. I hear what you're saying. I get it. Let me address it just for a second. Just for a second. Because Spencer Carberry can get his 123rd win tonight. That's the Capitals coach. And Calgary is 123 in the Ordinal. Capitals also have a record of 33-31 against the puck line this season. So they're going for their 34th puck line of the season. The Flames reverse reduction is 34. So you got to give it some respect as well. Capitals can stay on 31 losses against the puck line. And Calgary equals 31, Big Crypto. I came ready to play, my dude. I came ready for you on that one. Jerry Davis says, Mikey, Wilson plus 118 on one of my books. Maybe he's catching some steam. 118? Is that a point? Or is that... It's got to be a point, right? Can't be. Man, the Capitals puck line sitting there minus or plus 145. Woo! Anytime goal scorer that I see for Tommy Wilson. Plus 210, plus 200, plus 200, plus 198, plus 210, plus 195. It's got to be point, right? Maybe you're saying yes, point, and I'm just not looking back at it yet. Oh, no, points minus 185. Yeah. Jay Davis says, anytime goal. Really? Toss that book out, dude. Textile says Christian's line just steamed at 12.5. We steamed it, man. We moved the line, boys. Good job. Good job. Glad I got in early. Tua Tagovailoa's house in South Florida goes up for sale after being released by the Dolphins. ATG, says Jerry Davis. Big Crypto says, I like the Brooklyn Nets money line and the over in the Denver Nuggets game. Well, let's go into the NBA now. Keep her moving with this brisk pace and some new formatting for the best betting show on the planet. Denver Nuggets and the OKC Thunder will get her ripping. I'm just here to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions. And I will never read back to you. I will only prognosticate and predict, because I think that is where the value lies. Denver Nuggets 39-25, 22-12. On the road are these Denver Nuggets. This line, interesting situation, because it did open at 6.5 earlier today. It did move down. We saw some 5.5s. In fact, still kind of seeing 5.5s, but still, moderately juiced. You can catch a plus 5.5 at plus 104. 51% of the bets, 62% of the cash are coming in on the Nuggets. That's the important thing to know. It's amazing how many people still can't figure out, like, when it comes to reading these lines. They're like, oh, the public's all over the Nuggets. Well, listen. Dip. You're seeing the correlated line movement. That's the key trigger that people just forget. It's like, oh, they see the public's on them. Oh, the public's on them. We don't want to be on them. That's not entirely true. You're looking for a checkbox, a correlated move. Nuggets, as a large dog against an unrested opponent coming off a win, are a perfect 20-0. Over the last 3 seasons, the Denver Nuggets in a revenge situation. Mind you, that last game was overtime, and I broke this down a little bit there with the player prop on the Braun side of things. Add Gordon. Now, they got dumpster fired. They got taken behind the shed against the Knicks, the Nuggets. That was Friday. They're coming in with rest. They got, 142, 103. Hard to make sense of that. And the weird part was, if you look at it, Brunson only scored, 9 points? But from a Nuggets perspective, Gordon did come back. So that was like the star player coming back theory. He only had 21 minutes. And then OKC's dealing with injuries as well. But, the thing with OKC is they've won 5 in a row. They can still win. I don't think you're about to catch the Joker fired up, pissed off. They lost 2 games already to these boys. It's a playoff revenge situation. Whoops. I'm pulling cords on my desk now. All of that stuff that goes into it. And so with that being said, I like the Denver Nuggets. I got 6.5. And there's still 6.5s out there. So, minus 114 was my 6.5. I've got the Braun over 11.5 points. Parlay the two together. That sounds like a strong play as well. I'll tell you, when it comes to the player props, I've been playing them. I've been doing what I said all along with player props, playing them all individually and then parlaying them together. Damned if I haven't come one short 5 straight days in a row. And it's the late hockey game. So I don't know what the correlation is there. Man, I had the triple double tied into who was the shitbag last night there that didn't score for me with the Vegas game. I had 3 players on the Vegas game there. And who was the Oiler that didn't score? Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins doesn't get it done. I'm like, God damn. Damn, dude. It was like 150-1. Shit. Anyhow, I turned that game off with 2 minutes to go. I haven't been that mad in a minute where I was like, he's not getting it. And he got power plays. I don't want to relive it. I'm going to fade the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, they stink. Yes, Memphis isn't much better. When a team's in checkout mode in the Atlantic Division, Atlantic, I'm sorry, my buddy I get my text integrated in my computer here, so sometimes if people text me during the show, they show up, and it's funny because we were talking about the long lines at the DMV and how they're continuing here. But in any event, if you fade Atlantic Division teams that have no chance of making the playoffs, you've won 68% over the last 29 years. You've won 5 in a row. You've won 9 of your last 10. And you get a coin flip. So I'm taking it. That's essentially where I was looking at this thing here. Now, they're in a revenge mode, and the Grizzlies in a revenge have cashed both times in their last 2 situations. I don't really care who's playing on either of these teams. They both stink. I don't want to get involved in the Brooklyn Nets business. I've been there. It's not that it's the fourth quarter when they just fully check out that they just get blown apart. And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm sure I'll be wrong again here, but you catch the Grizzlies at a minus 108 on the money line. That just seems like good money to me. I got a minus 115, so it's actually gotten a little bit better. Either that or I didn't shop it around enough. But yeah, I mean, what are we talking about here? We got a Memphis team that, I guess the advantage here is the Nets came off a win. I'll give them that. And they're at home. But they're 1-4 in their last 5. The Grizzlies covering machines as of late. They covered 5 in a row. And they're doing it on the road. Dallas, Indy, Minnesota. I mean, they're all bad teams. Well, not Dallas entirely, but Indy, Minnesota. Then they got Portland and the Clippers. I'm just going to go into that fade. I'm going to take the 5 in a row trend there that favors taking this Memphis Grizzlies squad. As we roll up to the Knicks and the Clippers. Wish I was better at dictating when I was going to get to the stamps, the Knicks and the Clippers. And I'll just lay it down with you guys. Bottom line. Redbeard says, fuck the DMV. Loose Lip says, hunch play. All right. Take hunch plays. Dale Fix says, God damn, forgot about daylight savings. Now your show starts at 2 p.m. here. It was tough for me yesterday. Daylight savings is tough yesterday. All right, so listen. I'm going to take the Knicks. I had the Knicks yesterday. I was wrong with the Knicks. They got absolutely pumped and dumped. It was like a bad Tinder date. The old pump and dump. But they're playing the Clippers. So let's stop it right there. 31-32 Los Angeles Clippers. Road teams, close spreads, less rest, interconference. That says to jump in on this New York Knicks team. 73-33. It's 9-1 in its last 10 times out there. And I just talked about it. I guess coming off that Denver Nuggets win, I shouldn't have been so keen to play him. I felt for the asshole spot. The Lakers as a dog suck. They lost, 12 straight? And then you fire off the fact that there's no LeBron James, and they play better without that asshole out there leading the field. So, look, the Knicks have had a hell of a schedule. They had the Pistons in there. They got the Spurs. They had Toronto. They got OKC. They got Denver. They got the Lakers. Now you get the Clippers here in what should be a tank. And the Clippers come off that win against a bad Memphis team. They're coming back home. This is going to be their first home game in the last week and a half. So respect it. Or 5 days, I guess. They had the Spurs. Then they had Memphis. They barely snuck out of Memphis. They covered a bunch as well, but it's just spot situation for me here. I'm going to jump back to it. I liked them yesterday. I didn't like the result and the performance, but I do feel like because they got so busted up, their players got the fresher legs. Drew Skalosa says, Knicks great value. Nasty motherfucking Nate's in the house. He says the Knicks second quarter. Redbeard's wishing Jerry a little good luck. And then we'll finish her off, you guys, with the SRB segment. I told you I'm going to start to incorporate this, and it's going to be towards the end of the show, just because I don't control when I get the material. It's just material I want to share with you guys because I pay for it. We might as well play with it. So let's do that. Whoa. We might as well do that. I know some of you guys do enjoy this. By the way, I can tell you guys with some of those Knicks spots here, we do have some intersecting zeros on these guys. I'm not going to get overly worked up with why. I'm running right back to it. College basketball, Nichols State caught the most sharp action from respected bettors against that Utah Rio Grande Valley spot. Yesterday, by the way, we'll look at the day before just so that we can kind of keep an eye on what's going on here. Yesterday, they had a tough day. They had Wilmington -7. Wilmington lost outright to Campbell. They had the under in that game and went over. They had the Tulsa Temple game under. That game went over. So bear that in mind as I share this information with you. Sometimes they will get hot, but this is being automated and tracked through some of the most reputable sports books. Towson and Hofstra on the totals got 132.5. There's that Campbell UNC under 149.5. That's the spot that we got involved with here for the 6 p.m. start. I think that's a really good looking plug out there. We can knock this thing down and try to get us to the window. We'll move over to the NBA. Let me see what we got. Let me move over to the NBA. All right. Sharp, respected betting information has come in the NBA. The most sharp action from respected bettors. The New York Knickerbockers -2.5. The Knicks laying the line -2.5. And we got some great value on the money line, so go get that. The Brooklyn Nets and the Memphis Grizzlies under 220.5. Yesterday, just to keep it fair, we'll look and see what they did yesterday. Are they getting hot or not? I was pissed yesterday when I saw that they had the Lakers +3.5 because I was like, God damn it, I hammered on this Knicks spot. That fucked me. They also had the Milwaukee Orlando under 217.5. And that did not cash. That was 130-91. How does that not cash? Orlando did their job on defense. The Bucks defense just non-existent. So the Knicks -2.5 and the Nets and the Memphis Grizzlies under 220.5 on the NBA side of things. And I'll bring it home for you guys. Bring it on home to me. Yeah. Redbeard says, kind of like the Clippers. Knicks on a back-to-back. They looked sloppy yesterday. Big Crypto says, I'm on the Clippers. They can win their 4th game on the 4th numero. Well, I got to come ready to play when you give me that kind of intel, right? The Clippers have fallen short 32 times this season. Reverse reduction of New York is 33. I got more like that, Big Crypto, but it's funny how they can go both ways. So we'll see who cashes and who gets the win. Let's talk about this NHL, you guys. 2 spots in the NHL. It happens to be on the same game. Now, yesterday, by the way, they did give us that look-ahead spot for Saturday. On Friday, it was for the Ottawa Senators on Saturday. They easily cooked them boys. There was no side yesterday. They're having a great NHL season, too. No side yesterday. The total was Edmonton, Vegas over 6.5. Did not come through. Obviously, it was a 4-2 final. Today, double dipped the same game. They took the Utah Mammoth at a beefy -225. Sharps don't care about the pricing sometimes. They're just putting a lot of money down on a spot because they think they like the number, and they obviously like laying over $2. The Utah-Chicago game under 6.5 is an interesting spot that caught my eye. They're involved on this side as well. Sharp, respected betting action in the NHL, the under 6.5. To bring her on home, you guys, that's the way we're going to put the bow on the show this evening. Thank you guys all for being here. Good luck with your action. Good luck with them Kings if you guys are betting them. Thank you guys all for being here with Loose Lifts, Big Crypto, Redbeard, Nasty Motherfucking Nate, Drew Skolosa, Jerry Davis, Dale Fick, all you guys that are tuning in, Textiles, Jerry Davis. I said Jerry Davis's name already. God damn it. Stop Geoengineering. Nicholas Handy, The Solution. And all you guys that are catching us on the replay, like I said, leave a note after the show. Tell me what you're following. Tell me what you're tailing. Tell me what you're fading. You know what they say? Taylor fade. Let's get paid. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. with the Pregaming. Best damn show on the internet. I'll see you guys.